Hello everyone, Dan of 14th Prime here. Today I want to share with you guys a review comparison of Transformers. This is Takara's LG-40 Astrotrain Triple Changer Headmaster. You're seeing him there in front of the box. Got the nice tuna accurate gray going on, purple trim. Some cool artwork down there at the bottom. Over here on the side of the box we see the three different modes, kind of space shuttle, train, and bot there, and how the Headmaster and kind of plug and play in those different modes. Spin around the other side of the box, you get the cool kind of extended artwork of Astrotrain there. And here on the back, you can kind of see all that together, bigger pics of the different modes. It does look really cool and some nice paint. We'll take a closer look at that. In the background, I love how they kind of lay that artwork kind of just lightly in the background. Pretty typical packaging. And then here up top, if you're curious, got the typical kind of Headmaster effect coming into play. Alright, so let's pop this guy out of the box and check him out. So here we have Astrotrain in his space shuttle mode. You can see he's looking really nice with this kind of darker gray, lighter purple trim, and some nice accent paints, like right there. And we'll get Hasbro in here so you can kind of compare. Obviously the grays are very different. It's white versus gray, but even the purple got some subtle difference in kind of tone. You've got the front end view. You can see they've done a nice job putting some kind of window accents through the front of the shuttle there. Now focus there on the back. You can take a look down the plane. And here, let me just pick this guy up. He's so flat. It's easier if I just kind of pick him up and show him to you. Top side view here. It looks really nice, like the Decepticon logos there on the wings. When he is in shuttle mode here, you can open up this back section. It's got this kind of translucent piece of plastic there, and take your Headmaster and he can sit right in there, you know, in any mode, train mode, shuttle mode, whatever. That's kind of his place. Of course, we've seen this mold before. This was Sentinel Prime in its first release, Voyager class figure, but of course was always really meant to be Astrotrain. Check him out from the bottom. Some nice color accents here with the guns. Okay, so let's get Hasbro in here and compare the two. I've got the two just propped up here side by side. Obviously Takara on the left there, Hasbro on the right. The differences don't need a lot of explanation. They pop right out. Takara is obviously using this nice dark gray, kind of tune accurate Astrotrain that we would know. We talked about the window painting. That's a difference. And then the purple. They've got this darker purple trim kind of going around Astrotrain, the nose cone, the vents, and then of course around the wings. And Hasbro is basically using black in some of those areas. It then has a much kind of lighter purple. It just doesn't have the deep, more maybe a true purple, I'd say. The Astrotrain purple's almost got that deep, almost like a blue into it to get it so dark. And of course, they've got a base that's more of a light gray / white type color, which would be more consistent with the toy. You just lean them together here for a side view. You can see all those same differences pop around, right? It's the nose cone, purple versus black. Same with kind of the vent trim there. Hasbro's doing a little extra right there with the black. The Takara left all gray. Very different kind of white, or excuse me, yellow and red accent there. More for bot mode, which Hasbro kind of left alone, just made it black. And then you've got the guns down there, black versus purple as well. Here's the underside. In shuttle mode, I don't know that it matters much, but I figure I'll just show you. Obviously, you start to see some of the bot mode chest color and arms and shoulders, things like that. But if you look more up into the space shuttle, we'll probably see some of the train parts come into play. You can see how those are different as well. Takara does a nice job just keeping it gray and kind of consistent everywhere they can throughout the entire piece. Okay, so let's get to transforming this triple changer. Before we do that, let's take a look at the booklet here that Takara gives us. Nice artwork there for Astrotrain. Flip it around the other side. And you got the mode toy pics, as well as his tech specs there. And of course, as we open this up, That's what I'm looking for there. You get the couple page cartoon. And of course, instructions flip out the other side. Okay, so if we want to transform this guy into bot mode, just kind of start to fold some things up. A lot of this is kind of just like panel forming. So there are some panels up here. Kind of get the wing out of the way a little bit here, but flip these. Flip these panels back up. Let's just kind of take these off the arms, which they kind of already did. They peg into the back of the arm there. So I've kind of broken that peg, come around the other side. You can do the same thing then with these panels. Then just split the legs apart. Give them a rotation in, tight. So get the colors to match up with the chest. Give the feet kind of a fold forward, pull forward there. Then you've basically got them. Just get them a little situated. Let's not forget the hands. Flip out there, the inside of the wrist. Get his wings back how you want them. And that's basically the body, just like that. Pretty simple transformation, but it works. Quick heads up here if you're newer to the mold. One thing I didn't point out in Takara, because I wasn't really messing with it, but in the shuttle mode, there can be these landing gears that fold out of his chest. So if you have those out, obviously they can plug back in, or if you're going to shuttle mode, you can flip them out. Really just to kind of provide a flat surface. There's one here on the bottom as well, kind of like a landing nose that just flips up. So before we plug on the Headmaster, let's take a look at it. This is the Takara one here. It looks really, really nice. Nice silver face, red eyes. Got that purple to match up, and then the big yellow stripe there. I can see that pretty well. His forehead kind of sticks out so far. It's a little dark on the face. I'll just grab the Hasbro version here and put them side by side so you can check them out. Similar but different, right? Big yellow stripe, similar. Looks like the mold is overall similar, but the way it's painted makes them look very different. Hasbro has very intentional about painting just kind of like the round pieces around the helmet and the face, all with the same kind of whitish color. Whereas Takara's got the purple, letting that flow all the way through. You don't get the round effect. It almost looks like it has kind of horns. And then you get this nice silver face. So both look good, but they are different. Then if we just unfold the Takara version here, transform him. So I can see that's really nice. Sticking with that color scheme. It's cool. It's got gray shin accents, gray chest, but then purple kind of everywhere else. And the head, it's cool. It's like a mini Astrotrain. It's got the yellow stripe on there, the silver face, the red eyes. So very well done. And then if we pull in Hasbro here, you see the stark comparison. Hasbro, not much effort, kind of just all purple, white chest, no paint on the face at all. So really not Hasbro's best effort here at all in terms of the bot mode of the Headmaster. So back up top here, if we want to just finish the transformation of our guy, we're going to plug in the Headmaster. I think I have that. And there's a little lever here to kind of pop up these shoulder areas. And there you go. One cool thing in bot mode that it did, because of these big shoulder pads and how it limits kind of being able to move this head, this whole top section is on a little bit of a pivot mechanism, so you can kind of get the whole thing to turn, and then the head to turn as well a little bit. See that? So that was a nice little touch that's just in the mold. Again, both versions overall to help with kind of head articulation. So there he is in bot mode. I'll let you check that out. It looks really good. That nice dark gray. It's like spot on, bam, toon. And then you get the silver accents, you know, with the shoulder. Get some nice accents with red and purple there, red and yellow there, and the purple down the shins and the foot. So it looks really, really good. I'll just spin him around the side here so you can take a look. He gets pretty flat, so there's not a lot there to see. If you could probably actually, I think it was in the instructions, but you could flatten those out if you preferred as well. So in the back, you'll get more of that type of look versus the fins coming right out. The back looks pretty good too. I mean, the wings, that's a nice look there with the Decepticon logo. Not too bad from the back. And then he does come with a couple guns. They're the same molds as the Hasbro version. So you get this kind of open looking gun. You know, the Headmaster could sit in it if you wanted to. You get this more of a traditional rifle. I'll just jump in here and give you a closer look at these. And I'll compare them to Hasbro quickly. Hasbro being here on the bottom. You can see it's mainly just that color of plastic difference that they're keeping consistent. Otherwise, the accessories are exactly the same. Let's strike a pose here, and let's get the Hasbro version in bot mode out here to compare. So here they are in bot mode side by side. Hopefully that shows up well. I've got even less light in here because this guy is obviously very white with the white background. But I think he shows up okay for you guys. So this is the comparison. At face value, probably looks pretty obvious. There's at least a nice surprise or two. Forgot to do that. But obviously you just get the white versus gray, right? That's the big piece. And this is another one of those comparisons where the underlying colors are just so fundamentally different, like kind of like Brainstorm. Where it's like if you really want that nice North Carolina blue, you got to go Takara. Same here. If you really want this dark, toon accurate gray, you got to go Takara. But Hasbro's is a nice toy and much cheaper. But you can see all these same kind of fundamental color choice differences coming through. Black trim, right? Purple trim. Gray hands versus purple hands. I prefer the gray there. You know, what they've done here with the midsection, not just color choice differences, but the areas that they've painted are different. Hasbro's has gone a little bit thicker underneath, black accents down. Takara thinner with the purple underneath and red all the way through. Obviously the knees, very different. Down to the shins, Hasbro putting some black accent paints there. Probably more for the alt modes. But one of the finer point differences, and you can't really even see it from this angle. It is more difficult to see, but can you see it? Here. Couple big differences. One is just how the wings look with the figure in bot mode. So you just have the purple wings there. Doesn't really work with the color of the bot, which is more white, and then you just have this purple behind it. Here you've got more of like it works, right? The grays there, the purple trim, it kind of works with the bot mode better. But then you see a Decepticon logo there as well. So that does come through on bot mode, where you get the Decepticon logo on that side of the wing to be able to see it. That Hasbro didn't do, so just a nice touch over here with Takara. Side profile here so you can see it, but there's really nothing magical to the differences. Just kind of the compilation of different paint accents, panels, and other accents that we've already seen in other mode. Here you've got the back of the figure, and you can see Takara's putting the logo on both sides of the wing, so you get it in bot mode. In the shuttle, whereas Hasbro just kind of flipped it out there. So it's really only present in the shuttle mode. All right, so let's go from this bot mode into the train mode here. So let's just kind of get his arms up to the side. Flip these up and get the train side of the nose out. Those feet is basically the plain nose and the train nose. Let's give these a twist out to the side. And then just have them do the splits. Of course, we can get that out of the way. And push these back down. And actually with these splits, you can kind of break the crotch like that actually. You want to bring this whole piece up. Let's, of course, just fold in the hands here. Whoop. And we should just kind of be clipping these top shins right underneath the forearm there. Then want to flip the panels back. Start to kind of cover up just some of the stuff. And there's some panels up here we can flip down. Kind of pull all that color together. Get the wheels. There's wheels kind of molded down there on the bottom. And if we just spin it around, it's really the same thing here. We want to get this kind of back piece out of the way. There's a little hinge there. So let's just get this up and out of the way. Again, panel back, peg, panel back, peg. Flip the wheels down. So we're starting to get this train. Then finally with the big wing section, again, it's on this hinge thing. Just give it a spin this way. So you get it nice and centered. The wings will clip and peg right down in there. You get that, and then these can go up. And there you have it. That's the train. Super long, thin looking train. Let's take a quick look at the train. I think the nicest thing is just kind of how the colors all work, right? I mean, you've got like the purple just makes up the whole lower section really of the, I don't know if these are each respective fronts of the train, whatever, but front there into the wheels, works with the trim and all the way through, and then kind of the next level stripe and then the guns on top. So it looks good, it works, it looks cool. So this is what it's like looking down the front of that skinny train. You can see the front, it's got the, again, the purple kind of grill, if you will. They've got yellow in there, making the windows. And there's, you can see how some of these other red accents come into play that we've seen in different modes. And then here, just try to give you a bit of the top side view, how that comes together. Got the guns on top there. You got this kind of, I don't know, battle station or whatever it sort of becomes on top of the train. That's the weirdest piece they're trying to deal with in this whole transformation. Okay, so not the easiest things to get side by side, but trying to take a shot at it here vertically, I guess. So you can take a look at them. Again, I think some of the differences that are going to pop is just the color, right? I mean, what I can say is it looks like Hasbro didn't put the yellow accent paint down there on the front to make like a window. Obviously, you get more of the black in this train mode. But fundamentally, entirely the same. It is the same mold throughout in all figures and molds. It's just paint difference on this one. So it comes down to kind of color preference. For me, in the other modes, it's less of an impact, but in that bop mode, that's where I think you get more of the impact with the gray, with the Decepticon logos on the wings, and then just the wings themselves, how they tie better into bop mode. That's where you kind of feel it the most. In these other modes, it's like, yeah, there's differences, but just doesn't feel as significant. Here's another shot I can do just to get you some comparison with most of the piece into the shot. Again, I think Hasbro's looks good because they are doing a lot of, different types of color variations. The purple ties all the way through here. And then they go with black and then they go into the white. So it's kind of, it's different how they're tying the colors together, whereas Takara's pretty much like purple's like the bottom trim color and then the middle stripe color. So I do like the Takara version better. But there is at least some rhyme and reason, it looks like, to how Hasbro's put theirs together. Now you can see just on the front here, just the way Takara does it, it just looks a little bit nicer. You get like this type of contrast. Then you get the yellow window there that I mentioned that it helps you make out a train, let's say. And in Hasbro, you don't get that effect. So it's a little bit tougher there to say, oh yeah, that's front end of a train. So there you have it, guys. Takara versus Hasbro for Astrotrain. Both figures are nice. I mean, underneath all of it is a pretty good mold, I think, for the triple changer of Astrotrain, so that works for both pieces. As usual, it comes down to paint and what's it worth to you. Takara's does just a great job with the toon accuracy. The bop mode looks really nice. I think the wings and the Decepticon logo there, how that fits with the bop mode, is a big difference, bigger than just the dark gray itself. So I think it just ties the bop mode all together more. Hasbro's is nice. They've got some paint accents on there. It's the lighter kind of toy color. It looks good. Again, Takara's best becomes their worst in terms of how the wing sort of comes into play. It doesn't quite look as nice with the figure, but definitely not a blowout here. I think these are both good figures, and it comes down to personal preference really, and just how much you're willing to pay. you want perfect toon accuracy, you're always going to be going with Takara. But again, Hasbro here, a very nice figure for, half the price here in the States. All right, guys, hope you liked the video. See you next time.